inside Centennial High School tonight for a battle, a dual meet between the 7th-ranked Centennial Cougars and the Blaine Bengals. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Hupp, alongside my broadcast partner, Matt Dean. And Matt, this is a battle between two teams as we gear up for sections and state, but they don't want to overlook this match because this is a cat clash, and these kids know each other well.
Yeah, big rivalry matchup. You mentioned Centennial come in ranked 7th in the state in Class 3A. But it's a matchup that's been close in the recent history. Blaine took an early lead last year in this cat clash, kind of started to take control of that duel in about the 172-pound weight class. Blaine had a chance to win it. They needed a fall in the heavyweight bout to close the day. Came up a bit short. So two ranked wrestlers, though, in this matchup. And we're hoping, and I think everyone in attendance here, we got a nice crowd in Circle Pines. I think you'd agree, Bill, we're hoping we get the matchup everybody wants to see in the 152s. And that would be Zachary Johnson, the Blaine senior, ranked 4th in the state in his weight class. Jack Ruegesegger, the sophomore, ranked 10th. That's an enticing matchup that we could be looking out for here in the middle of this duel.
Yeah, Ruegesegger is ranked number 10. He's just a sophomore. He was the only Cougar boys wrestler who qualified for state last year. He went 0-3 at 152 pounds, but he's hoping to get back there again this season for Centennial. So kind of surprising, given that Centennial is 7th in state, that they would only have one ranked wrestler in their lineup. But that is the case, and it doesn't mean that there's not quality up and down the lineup, especially at the youth level. These are both teams that have impressive youth groups, and so it's one of those things where you'll see as time goes on, how it develops. So time to introduce the starting lineups for both teams. At 107 pounds, it'll be Ethan Tayse, a junior, 10-6 record on the season, against 8th grader Jack Grygelko for Centennial. Clayton Wick, the 8th grader, will be at 107 pounds. Meanwhile, Ian Cortez will be wrestling at 114 pounds against Callan Shelstad, the 8th grader for Centennial. Freshman John Yang takes the mat for Blaine at 121 pounds against Evan Boesch, an 8th grader and one of the funkiest wrestlers that his head coach Chase Steffen said he's ever coached. At 133 pounds, it'll be Pierce Wegleitner, a junior, 6-7 on the season, against Jack Grygelko, an 8th grader, and the first 7th grade state tournament participant for Centennial last year. At 133 pounds, Logan Fu, the senior, against Suheed Salem, a junior. 139 pounds, Braden Reeves, the sophomore, takes on Ian Shelstad, the sophomore. Pair of sophomores battling there. A sophomore at 145 pounds, Tanner Lund, against Ben Johnson, a junior. At 152 pounds, like we talked about, Jack Ruegesegger against Zachary Johnson, the senior. Sam Smoody, the sophomore, at 160 pounds for Blaine, will take on Grant Moffat, the junior. 172-pound matchup features senior Andrew Person against Jacob Payjack, a freshman. 189 pounds, another freshman for Blaine. Luke Brady will take on Carter Stookie, the junior, for Centennial. Baraka Kamundi takes the mat for Centennial at 215 against Bennett Topiff, the junior. And then at 285, the heavyweight matchup, Marcus Thomas, the junior, taking on Braden Boesch for the junior. A potential football recruit as well. A lot of Division I programs looking at him. So Centennial comes in with a record of 23-8 overall, 11-1 in conference play, and Blaine 15-8 overall, 7-3 in Northwest Suburban Conference play. Both these teams, Matt, wrestle in very difficult sections.
They do. You look at the section that the Bengals occupy. You got Forest Lake, Elk River, a traditional power, as well as Anoka, who right now line up as potentially the 3 or the 4 seed in that section. And Centennial not much easier. You've got one of the best programs in the state in Stillwater in their section. Mounds View, pretty good program in recent history. So you're focused on finishing the regular season strong, winning a game in that early round when you get into the head-to-head duels and sections, and see where it goes from there. And we will get started here in moments down in the 107s.
You just took a look at Josh Prokosh, the 15-year head coach. And so we've got Clayton Wick in the red against Ethan Tayse, a junior, 10-6, won all 3 matches at the Blaine duels, reached 80 varsity wins earlier this year. So 107 pounds is where we begin under the single spotlight here at Centennial. And Tayse immediately in for a takedown. Used to be 2 points, now worth 3. Our graphics team has it right. Blaine obviously in the blue and white with the paw on the back of the singlet. Centennial in the black and red. Tayse tough on top.
You know, I kind of feel like adding the additional point for takedowns, I think it's a good thing for wrestling. It encourages more risk-taking. You get more of the action that the fans want to see. You have potentially the 3 points where rather, I think in the past, a lot of guys would maybe play it a little safer.
Yeah, and if you're trailing, say, 7-4 or 10-7 or something late, you still have an opportunity to tie it and force the extra session. Whistle blows for inactivity, or for stalemate. So Tayse will cover. Less than a minute to go here in the first period. Wick not doing much on bottom. That 2-on-1 ride going for Tayse. A little crossface there.
Tayse got to 50 varsity wins earlier in his career. Guy who's still just a junior, all-conference pick for the Bengals last year in the blue singlet. 30 wins last year in his sophomore season, eclipsed 30.
Blaine last wrestled on Saturday when they hosted the duels and went 0 for 3 against Forest Lake, who is expected to be the number 1 seed or number 2 seed maybe in their section. Cambridge, Isanti, and Plainview Elgin Millville, who I believe is a Class AA school. At least Class AA, maybe single A. As time expires here, and so Tayse will defer. You will see what Wick chooses. He wants neutral, so that's what will be. Probably a good idea, the way Wick was being controlled. And you can see Tayse just a little lankier and forcing the action, kind of moving forward. Good shot, though, by Tayse, in on a leg. Good sprawl here from Tayse. Pushing the head down. They wrestle near the border, and it is back to the middle for both wrestlers.
I'm not sure that right foot completely came off the mat there from Wick. It was very close, but they'll have him reset back in the middle.
Yep. Still hand fighting. Trying to turn the corner here on Tayse, and he gets it. So tie the match at 3. A takedown here in the second period for Wick. Dad on the varsity staff, was one of the leaders in starting the Centennial Youth Wrestling Program. A couple wrestlers' dads have really kind of spearheaded this, and their youth program has done really, really well. We've got a blood time. I believe the nose of Tayse. Sometimes those cross faces, you know, when they can really get you. And once those things start bleeding, sometimes they are tough to stop. 3-3 our score with 51 seconds left in the second.
Yeah, it looked like the official, as you kind of said, pointed to his nose there for the blood stoppage. And it kind of came at a little bit of a good time there for Tayse. He was in a precarious position with about a minute left to work with there. 51 seconds still in this second period here, but He was in a tough spot there with still a lot of time left on the clock here in the second period, still tied at 3.
So Wick getting some last-minute instruction. It's always interesting, too, when you see like a junior matched up against a 7th or 8th grader, because even just that in terms of the maturity, they may be the same weight, but just the wrestling maturity, the number of matches. You said Tayse, just reached 50 wins.
It's unusual to see an upperclassman that is still able to
wrestle at 107.
It is such a weight class dominated by middle schoolers. We often see kind of the up-and-coming 7th and 8th grade phenoms in their first or second year of high school wrestling here in Minnesota. They're ones in the 107. So, yeah, to see a guy with 50 wins, I'd be curious. I'm not so sure there's anyone else in the state. He might be leading the 107 weight class in career wins. Ethan Tayse, good athlete.
Yeah, no doubt. He's making himself large here and trying to go flat and not get turned. Centennial fans asking what he's doing on bottom. They want those stall warnings to come quick and fast. Time running out here in the second period. I think we'll go to the third period tied at 3. Everything to play for here. All the points at stake. If you don't know the scoring, it's 6 team points for a pin, for a fall, 5 for a technical fall, which is 15 points or bigger, 4 for a major decision, a win of 8 or more, and then 3 for just a regular decision. So Wick, or Tayse rather, starts on bottom, just needs to get out to take that 4-3 point lead, or 4-3 lead rather.
He's had a tough time so far with Wick in the top position here. Second period, I think he was obviously more into kind of stall mode, just trying to ride out the rest of that period. But now he's got to find a way to get out from underneath Wick.
Yeah, it's a good question. What is he doing? Because I think he's not trying to get to his base. Now he's kind of trying. But he's got the boots in there, making it tough.
Well,
yeah, you got to be, to avoid the stall call, you've got to be making an effort to escape, and he's pulling the wrist in, but he's not trying to do much. He's pretty high in the hips right now, Wick, and they're going out. Less than a minute to go, so it seems like Tayse's plan is just to get the escape and come out of here with a win.
Well, these are the kind of matches where it's dragging out. It feels like the time's moving slow, but you can have a flurry here at the finish. So buckle up for this one here, final 50 seconds.
Well, especially if you get a reversal. Okay, so he's going to cut him with the idea that he can get a takedown and come away with a 6-4 win. And indeed, because I think he thinks he can outmaneuver him. Meanwhile, Tayse trying to scoot around back. He's locked up a cradle. And if he turns, he's got the 3 points, and now he's trying to get near fall points. And he does indeed with the escape and the takedown here. Now he'll just have to hang on as he tries to get back points and maybe work on a third period fall. 11 seconds left, and there it is. Ethan Tayse, the junior, well over 50 wins in his varsity career, and despite being stuck on bottom for much of that, eventually he got the job done and earned all 6 team points for Blaine.
What did we say, Bill? Boring match for about a period and a half, and we said buckle up for the finish. But give credit to Wick. He tried to release him, give him the escape point, thinking he could outmaneuver him on his feet, and Tayse was ready after spending much of that match struggling to get off the mat.
Yeah, and it just shows you how quickly he can turn. He got, the takedown immediately into the cradle, and then that was it. So tough way for Wick to go down as he battled hard for most of that match. So now we have 114 pounds Ian Cortez, senior, against Callan Shelstad, the 8th grader. And like we just talked about, you don't normally see upperclassmen that are still this wiry. Shelstad, a gamer, as his coach described him, very competitive. Oh, good head tap into a double leg takedown. That was textbook from the 8th grader, and he's out to a 3-0 lead. Cortez this season just 0-2. His first action coming in the Blaine duels on Saturday. And you just see how he set it up, tapped the head, got him to raise up just enough, and then came in and got the double leg takedown. It's amazing how quiet the crowd is in here when nothing's happening. Chopping at that arm, trying to break him down.
They're withholding with their praise. The wrestling fans, anyway, here in Circle Pines.
Yeah, exactly. Bated breath. Wrestling near the edge. And trying to move forward. Kind of got that half Nelson, trying to turn him and get back points, and he does. Shelstad's got Cortez on his back, looking to pick up the first period fall. He's got 18 seconds to work. Cortez trying to roll through, and he manages to do so. And now he's just wrenched him back to his back again, and he gets the fall. Minute 55 seconds on the fall for Kalen Shelstad, the 8th grader. And just like that, Centennial out. Or rather, Centennial has tied it at 6 apiece.
What a start. 2 falls to begin the day.
Yep.
And, I mean, the way that both these matches started out, it didn't look like it was headed that way. We said, again, Centennial, the favorites, ranked 7th in the state. But there are a lot of toss-up matches here to be had, and it has been a very tight rivalry series in recent history. Came down to the wire and came down to the heavyweight bout last year.
John Yang now against Evan Boesch. Boesch, an 8th grader, one of the funkiest wrestlers that their head coach has ever seen, Chase Steffen. And immediately you see some of that action as a takedown near the edge of the mat. Yang, just a freshman, 0-3. Evan Boesch, an 8th grader at 121 pounds.
Now, one of a couple of the Boesch brothers that we're going to see, his older brother, the junior, slotted to go as the heavyweight finisher here for Centennial.
So Yang gets the escape. This is going to be a high-scoring match, I would imagine. Boesch just like that, in on a double leg, dumps it, gets the head out. Now trying to keep Yang on his, to take him to the back. Takedown awarded. Yang trying to roll out of it. That's pretty tight, though, as he moves up. And could we have another first period fall in less than a minute? The 3 points is in the pocket and the pin as well. And that's something you see, Matt, if you haven't watched high school wrestling a lot, you do see a lot of falls. Even in the state tournament at the team events for state, when the teams advance to state, you see a lot of it. Now the head coach for Blaine, Josh Prokosh, I think wants to have a word for a quick second, but you see there, Yang struggling against Evan Boesch, and that was easy pickings. 127 pounds now, Jack Grygelko, the 8th grader. As you said in the open, first ever 7th grade state tournament participant for Centennial in 2025. Father Tony was another pioneer of the youth program here at Centennial. And according to his head coach, is their most technical wrestler. 12-6 as he's facing Pierce Wegleitner. And immediately they start rolling. Wegleitner, a junior, 6-7 on the season. We're scoreless. Well, not anymore, 3-0 as Wegleitner takes down Grygelko.
Wegleitner, one of the captains for Blaine. You mentioned a junior when I was talking with the head coach, Josh Prokosh, before the match today. He said this was one of the matchups that he had kind of circled as being a key one. It's not necessarily one that Blaine are supposed to win, but Wegleitner, one of their upperclassmen leaders, if he can get this decision here, it would be a good sign for Blaine to try to upset 7th-ranked Centennial.
Yeah, and how big does that 107-pound match going the way of Blaine? Because it looked like it might just be a 3-point decision, but then when they got that fall, those are valuable points for them to stay in this.
Wegleitner's, he's a good wrestler, a 3-time all-conference selection.
Trying to turn right now. He's got that figure 4 ride and a potentially dangerous whistle, so we'll go back to the middle. There's a couple brothers in this lineup, the Boesch brothers, the Shelstads. So family affair for Centennial. 5-0 the score. As Wegleitner tough on top because he's so lanky. Trying to break down Grygelko. You could just tell Grygelko's been well schooled by his father, Tony. First 4 wrestlers in the lineup tonight for Centennial, all 8th graders, which, like we said, speaks to the talented youth. And 2 of Blaine's freshmen, which we'll see later, just participated at freshman state.
It's senior night here in Circle Pines, and if the projected lineup is to be believed, we'll see 1 Centennial senior.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Only 1 that I count in the 2, I guess, in the Bengals lineup. 5-0 our score as we begin the second period with Wegleitner to cover. You can just see that. Let's get the boots stuck in, and it's just cranking on that 2-on-1, trying to get him to turn. And eventually you torque on that shoulder enough, and you're going to go, or your shoulder will give out.
Yeah, if Blaine takes this one, it's game on here tonight. We talked about this as a key weight class matchup here in the 127s. You've got your potential top 10 ranked battle looming in the 152s. Blaine have the top ranked wrestler in this duel, but again, Centennial a little bit of a deeper lineup, so they need to get some of these decisions here early. And you mentioned that fall in the first round for Ethan Tayse, the junior, when it looked like it was just going to be the regular decision. I think that's one we'll circle and look back on if Blaine even are tight down the stretch in this one.
Grygelko still just being muscled on top by Wegleitner, and you got blood time. Couldn't tell whether that was a stall call or blood time, but I believe it's Grygelko who needs attention. Yeah, only senior in the Centennial lineup will be Logan Fu, who is scheduled to wrestle next at 133 pounds. Actually, 3 seniors. Andrew Person and Baraka Kamundi coming up next as well. Centennial, only conference loss in NWSC play in this dual season against Elk River, who is presumed to be the top-ranked top seed in the section with Blaine. Blaine's going to be one of the lower seeds, or higher seeds, I guess, as it's expected to be Anoka, 3 or 4, Forest Lake up there, number 1, and you know it's a good section when a powerhouse like Anoka is when a powerhouse like Anoka is only a 3 or a 4 seed. But Elk River, you know, Centennial's number 7, so we talked about Centennial's section. Cougars are 7th, Mounds View 5, and traditional powerhouse Stillwater. Like always, it seems these days, STMA 1, Stillwater 2, and Shakopee 3.
Now, Centennial had been 11-0 in their conference duels until last Friday in that aforementioned loss to Elk River. So Cougars right now not looking like a top seed in their section and dropping out of the share for first place in the conference standings as well.
Five nothing our score. Pierce Wegleitner on top of Grygelko, and potentially dangerous the call. They look like they're starting to do the Macarena when they do the potentially dangerous. That's half the battle with broadcasting wrestling, is just learning what the various it's like hockey, just learning what the various movements mean. Oh, a little high. He's a little high, Wegleitner. And no escape awarded as time expired, but you could see he got a little high and he almost managed to shrug him off. Grygelko chooses neutral to start the third.
No surprise, he's got some ground to make up. He needs the 3 points. He'll get it quickly.
Well, he got the 3 points quickly, but it looks like Wegleitner could get the reversal if he can just pop his head through. And do I know wrestling or what? Immediately 7-3 our score, and we got a blood time again. Like I said, once that nose kind of gets going, sometimes you just see it. All of a sudden, control switched very quickly, and
yeah,
savvy wrestler.
Double nose plugs in the first period. Not a good sign for pace of play. Moving on here through the rest of this match.
No,
but
how can you breathe?
If it starts, it's probably not going to stop.
Yeah,
sometime in the next minute, 36
clean
seconds.
The mat. Tough to see blood, too, in the Centennial mat in the middle. Good crowd on hand, like you mentioned, though. Great JV match before this. There's, I think, a freshman match as well on the other side of the gym. He's got such great school support that even Spencer Waldvogel, the longtime assistant coach for football and head coach for basketball, is involved, doing the public address announcing tonight. He asked for our advice before the match. 7-3 our score. Pierce Wegleitner leading Jack Grygelko as he good mat return from Wegleitner. Got that figure four ride going. Trying to turn him and get back points. Another potentially dangerous, and this time, because it's the third call. Oh, this time it was, I believe that those 2 points actually go to Grygelko. So it should be 7-5. No, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Granby roll attempt by Grygelko, trailing 9-3. Another blood time and another potentially dangerous. I guess I thought the potential danger accumulation would have been in favor of Grygelko, but yep, he's got a. Sometimes you'll eventually see, Matt, they'll wrap tape around like mummy style to just prevent
We're about
it.
at that point.
Yeah, well, with the nose, not necessarily, but when it's like a head injury, they'll just do that sometimes, so they can finish the match. 47 seconds left in this third period. 9-3 our score. We're 127 pounds.
A good look at Chase Streff in there, head coach for Centennial, helping out with the blood stoppage.
Yep. 133 pounds on deck. Grygelko not out of it by a long shot. He gets the reversal and then an escape. 10-5 our score. Throw attempt by Grygelko. It doesn't work out, however. And takedown. For Wegleitner.
Well, right now that swings it into major decision territory. Again,
Yeah.
we expect this to be a tight duel right now. So even if you are Grygelko right now and you're trailing, I mean, you are fighting tooth and nail to get this back to a regular decision first.
And he does indeed with a reversal. He'll cut him, and then immediately he gets in on a leg, and he can just hang out here for the last couple seconds. Doesn't need to score again. Although if he had reversed him, he would have gotten that major. But as it stands, it's a 13-7 decision in favor of Pierce Wegleitner, the junior, who wins at 127 pounds.
Well, that's good wrestling by Grygelko. Wegleitner wins the match, but again,
Limits the
Grygelko,
damage.
yeah, limiting the damage. He doesn't give up. He gets that last reversal that you see there. So that's wrestling's an individual sport, but it's a team sport. You see a great example of it right there.
So now it's junior Suhad Salim at 133 pounds, 8-6. Went 0-3 at the duels. And you've got Logan Fu, a senior, battled through a collapsed lung this year and has worked tirelessly to return, according to his head coach. Also an extremely smart young man. And actually, I believe this is Easton Martin, not Logan Fu. This is Easton Martin wrestling, and he's got Salim on his back. 3 points in the bag, trying to pick up a fall, which would be the third of the night for Centennial.
Another 8th grader in the lineup for Centennial.
Yeah. Built like a firehouse or fire hose, kind of short and strong for an 8th grader, especially. 3 points, he's got the 3-point near fall as well. He doesn't need it. First period fall, second of the night, third fall overall. Easton Martin, an impressive display from the 8th grader.
Well, about as quickly as we can identify him. He picks up the first period fall here. Yeah, nicely done by Easton Martin. And you said, I mean, he's an 8th grader, good size and physicality for his age, and he just showed it off right here.
I think his muscles have muscles. Impressive from the youngster. That's 5 straight 8th graders in the lineup for Centennial, starting tonight on varsity. So,
and you mentioned it, but now 1, 2, 3 have gone in Centennial's favor, but 4 of the first 5 matches all via the fall.
Ian Shelstad immediately in on a double leg takedown against Braden Reeves, and he gets 3 points. 18-9 our score. A couple more falls and Centennial will put this out of reach. I mean, I guess you're never quite out of reach with the potential for 6 point swings, but Shelstad came out immediately and made that happen. Of course, his brother we've already seen wrestle at 114 pounds, Callan Shelstad, who was a winner by fall. Ian, the sophomore, coach called him one of the most improved wrestlers on this team, put in a ton of off-season work. And one of 2 pairs of brothers in this starting lineup for Centennial. 18-9 the team score, 3-0 as the 2 wrestlers tumble out of bounds, 1:04 to go in the first period.
Now, we talked about all the youth in the Centennial lineup, and more of that in the Blaine side. This is normally the weight class where you'd see Owen Keel, a talented freshman for the Bengals wrestling. He just is coming off a state championship in freshman state over the weekend at Champlain Park, but unavailable today, out with, I think it was an illness. So we're seeing Braden Reeves, the sophomore, wrestle in the talented freshman stead.
Reeves, like you said, a sophomore, 3-8. And he's got the cradle deep, trying to pick up another first period fall. Chest to chest with him. He's got 3 near fall in the bag. And there it is. Minute 31, the time of that fall in the first period. So a pair of falls for the Shelstads. This one, Ian, from the sophomore at 139 pounds.
Well, that'll push the Cougars' lead out to 24-9. And dominant display here from Martin and Shelstad with the back-to-back falls. The latest here from Ian, as you said, in the 139, right at the Cougar Claw at center.
145 the weight class next. Tanner Lund, the sophomore, 1-2 on the season against Ben Johnson, whose mother helped me figure out pronunciations for this Cougars lineup. So big thanks to Mrs. Johnson. 24-9 our score. Lund instantly with a beautiful ankle pick, trying to finish. Johnson sprawling near the edge of the mat, and a good job to go out of bounds with it. Back to the center, the 2 wrestlers go.
And yeah, Johnson, right, just a sophomore. So the Ben Johnson era is over in Minneapolis. It's just getting started here in Circle Pines.
Excellent. Double leg takedown for Lund, but he can't finish. And instead, it's Johnson picking up the 3 points. Well, Lund's had some impressive shots so far, but just has not been able to finish them and convert them into takedowns. Johnson, described as an extremely hard worker, tough, physical, and does all the little things right. He's trying to do all the little things right on top here as he's chopping at that arm, try to break his opponent down to the mat. Lund doing a good job just kind of trying to starfish and not give him anything to work with.
Yeah, once that initial takedown happens, like early in a period, it doesn't seem like much is going on. But as you said, Bill, there's a lot of hard work going on by the guy at the bottom here, Lund, just to kind of keep Johnson at bay, live to fight on to the second period.
Yeah, and not surrender back points, right? That's what you're trying to do mostly, is not give him anything where he can cradle you up and turn you. So we go to the second period. Tanner Lund defers. Lund's a pretty jacked 145.
He's pretty new to wrestling. Was talking with Coach Prokosh about him beforehand. It's only his 3rd year wrestling. This is the first year that Lund has reached varsity, but did some JV as an 8th grader and a freshman. Also spent the first half of this year injured mostly, so they're excited to get him back in the lineup.
Johnson sprawling after that escape. Another double leg for Lund, and Johnson sprawls out of it. So he's giving up the leg attacks, but he's fighting them off well. He's defensive wrestling pretty well. As we're a minute 20 left in this second period, 145 pounds. Good one coming up next here between Jack Ruegesegger and Zachary Johnson at 152. So don't turn that dial. Johnson, another takedown. Boy, this is one where the score doesn't necessarily reflect the tenor of the match, but Johnson is just outpointing him, even though Lund has had probably the better of the shots.
Yeah, Lund has been able to just kind of keep him at bay after he gets that initial takedown. But, yeah, I agree with you. This has been utterly dominant here from Ben Johnson. As we said,
and now he's looking at bonus points. Now he's trying to get into the major territory. Yep. He's not going to probably get a tech fall unless he can get back points. But certainly picking up another 4 points would be welcome by this crowd.
And trying to crush all hope here for Blaine. You've got back-to-back falls from Martin and Shelstad after Wegleitner won it for Blaine on the 127s. You're trying to squash all hope right now against your rivals if you're the Cougars here.
No sooner do I say that, does he start picking up back points. That half Nelson.
Trying to get that shoulder down, get him about a 45-degree tilt. I don't think he's got enough yet.
No, 10 seconds left. Lund bails to his belly, so good job fighting off that. But all of a sudden, now you are in tech fall territory with an 11-0 lead. So the choice to Lund, as his coach gives him some last-minute instruction. I will say, I don't know how good it is from a TV spectacle standpoint, but the spotlight does look pretty cool, as is the wrestling tradition for dual meets.
I think it looks good on
effect.
TV. We got a monitor up here at the spot. It's not ideal for us. We're holding our phones today with the
Like
the
two old
iPhone
men.
lights,
Yes.
but it looks good.
11-0 our score as the two wrestlers go back to the middle. Johnson dancing, head tapping. I will say that they're not as brawly as you would think. Scoots behind for three, and now he's got to be thinking tech fall with a 14-0 lead.
That point of any kind will do here.
Yeah, he can cut him, and he can get another takedown, and that would do it. Or he can try to work on that arm and turn him to his back.
I got to think you start getting down to, 45 seconds left. You're thinking about just cutting him and going for that last takedown.
I would think, yeah, the way he's been able to take him down in this match. It hasn't been a takedown fest, but he's been successful, trying to control that wrist on top. Just like that, one of the Centennial fans encouraged him to cut him and take him down as he's trying to get the cradle, but it not happening. And finally he does. Does he have enough? It's 30 seconds. He's got enough time for a takedown if he starts getting aggressive. Tries to go with the double underhooks and thinks better of it. And if you're Lund, you're just trying to keep this a major decision. As he goes again, double underhooks, just trying to tie him up. Johnson trying to snap the head of Lund, trying to bounce it. And that's going to be it. 14-1 will be the final, a major decision in favor of Ben Johnson. And the lead is increased to 28-9 now in favor of the 7th-ranked Cougars.
Again, solid wrestling here from Lund to stave off the tech fall, but Ben Johnson awfully impressive here. Got a handful of takedowns. It wasn't a takedown fest like you said, Bill, but he got a takedown. He had control from there on out each period, just wrestling down Lund on top.
I don't believe this is Adam Stack. This is not Ruegesegger. And so we do not get the matchup we were hoping for between ranked wrestlers. This is Zachary Johnson, the 4th-ranked 152-pounder, the senior for Blaine. Went 3-0 at the Blaine duels, 15-2. And he's the only returner from last year's team that qualified for state. And he's off to a quick start here, 7-1, or 7-2-1 here in the first. This is the kind of kid who could pick up, a first period tech fall, as he's going to cut him and try to just take down, cut. Against Adam Stack. So maybe Ruegesegger will skip tonight's duel or wrestle at 160. Obviously you can wrestle up. Adam Streff, the freshman rather. Another great takedown, keeping the toes in bounds for Johnson, and he's going to just do optional start with 43 seconds left. Vigorously indicating to the ref. 9-2 our score here in the first period. And Johnson just trying to rack up as many points as possible. He's locked up the standing cradle as he looks to pick up the first period fall. You can see why this kid is the 4th-ranked wrestler at 152. 25 seconds left, and there it is. So 6 points back for Blaine. Good sportsmanship there as well as Streff.
Yeah, Johnson, the all-time career wins leader at Blaine, picks up a career win number 177.
I would imagine he'll wrestle somewhere in college.
I would think so. He is number one on the list, and it's not close when you drop down to number 2. 3-time All-State pick, 4-time All-Northwest Suburban Conference pick, and another dominant win for him.
Now here is Jack Ruegesegger. A state entrance last season. Led the team in takedowns the past 2 seasons. Ranked 10th at 152. This is the matchup we wanted to see, but Centennial shuffled its lineup. So now it's Sam Smoody, the sophomore, taking on Ruegesegger. When I was talking to Mrs. Johnson, before the match, and they were saying it was pronounced Ruegesegger, I was like, so it's like Bob Sager, but Ruegesegger.
Yeah, Jack's coming off one of his better wins in terms of the rankings. Recently beat number 7 Peters, the number 7 ranked wrestler in the 152-pound weight class in his matchup against Elk River, although the Cougars, we mentioned, did lose that overall duel. Ruegesegger got one of his signature wins this year against the number 7 in his weight class.
Good reversal there by Smoody off the just good counter wrestling there by Smoody. 28-15 our score. It's been a fall fest. I believe there's been 6 pins now, I believe. 4 for Centennial and 2 for Blaine, who have won 3 matches here tonight. Like we said, last year's duel came down to the heavyweight. Blaine needed to win by fall. They only won by decision, and so they couldn't ultimately catch up, and Centennial came away with a narrow victory. Centennial has just rolled through conference play this year in terms of duels, looking to pick up their 12th of the season.
Well, your Centennial, you have Ruegesegger wrestle up, basically, as your head coach. And Ruegesegger, you know that he wants that matchup with Zach Johnson. But from a tactical coaching perspective, you're thinking, all right, we've got better odds here. Ruegesegger wrestling up a weight class here to pick up points. Now, if Centennial gets a regular decision here, they're going to go 16 points clear with 5 weight classes left.
Optional start for Smoody, and so Ruegesegger, or he defers, I should say. So Ruegesegger chooses to stand to go to their feet. Yeah, it's a tactical and strategic thing. So you look ahead and you say, oh, 2 ranked wrestlers at 152, but we'll see if their coaches actually decide to match them up or if they, bump them up. Because obviously if you weigh in, you can always wrestle up. He was saying, they had a 175-pounder wrestling at heavyweight for Blaine for the freshmen. So you just can't.
That was
weigh
at freshman
more.
state.
Yeah, freshman state. Yeah. Smoody giving Ruegesegger all he can handle right now. If I was a really good broadcaster, I would weave Bob Sager titles into. Smoody's been like a rock right now. 28-15 our score. Stall warning on Ruegesegger. So another one of those, and it'll be a point.
Oh, I mean, we've been talking about how good Ruegesegger is, but Smoody is no slouch. Right now comes in sitting on 49 career wins. This would be a heck of a way to get to number 50. You can upset a top 10 ranked wrestler in the state. Also 25 victories by fall in his career. He just recently picked up his 25th career pin in his varsity career.
Yeah, against Plainview, Elgin, Millville. He's a pinner. That's how some guys get their reputations. And Ruegesegger gets the takedown. 6-4 our score now, late second period. Good counter wrestling here. Smoody trying to Granby roll through for an escape, but the two wrestlers just go out of bounds, so we'll go back to the middle, and Ruegesegger will cover.
I think the flip side of the coin here, and no pun intended here, almost a flip to get him out. But right, you're Ruegesegger. You want that matchup with Zach Johnson. You get pushed up. If you're Smoody here, you're the guy thinking, oh, what? They're moving their top guy up here. They think this is automatic. Like that fires you up as well too. If you're on the Blaine side of that.
It's the intentional walk of wrestling.
It really is.
Speaking as two baseball announcers. It's the homer after the intentional walk. And Zachary Johnson, in this case, is Barry Bonds. An escape for Smoody to cut it to a single point.
So Smoody is Will Clark in this scenario?
Oh, and the two guys coming together, brawling a little bit. As Smoody had some words for Ruegesegger.
Yeah, it looks like Smoody wants
Smoody's
down.
no slouch, that's for sure. So
No,
Smoody wisely starts down. An escape gives him a point. And we'll see if Ruegesegger can ride him for the whole period or keep him down, or just decides to go to their feet confident that he can get a takedown. And that's just like that. He got out in less than 5 seconds.
Well, we were robbed of the match of the day, and then Smoody comes through and says, not so fast.
Yeah, Smoody heavy on the head, too. So these guys are brawling, too, with the collar ties and the heavy head, but look at the sit out there, sit out and spin. Nice job by Smoody. Now, again, he's going heavy on the head, and that effect is to, wear the other wrestler out and set him up for a shot later.
Ruegesegger wrestling up. Smoody's got a little bit of a reach advantage.
And Ruegesegger dumps him off the single leg. Textbook from Jack Ruegesegger. To the delight of his home crowd here.
We said they're withholding with their praise here in Circle Pines, but when they're ready to cheer you on, they're coming loud.
Oh, there is nothing better or more exciting in terms of a sports moment, or few things anyway, than a really intense, heated, important wrestling match. With
It doesn't get better than this, right?
No.
Tied at 6-6, third period. He breaks the tie with a great move.
Yeah. Smoody's not out of this by a long shot. An escape and a takedown would do it. So he sits out again, trying to keep him on his back. Smoody again. Tried to sit out before. It's not working as well this time. Ruegesegger with 30 seconds left chops the arm down. And we got a stall warning on Ruegesegger, so a point for Smoody because he wasn't working up. You have to, as the wrestler on top, you got to work up towards the top to try to get back points. He wasn't doing that, so you can get called for stalling on top as well if you're just hanging on for dear life and you're not trying to advance. Now that he's been called once, Smoody spins out. He trails by a point with 14 seconds left. And just listen to this crowd. 10 seconds to go. Smoody's got to take a shot. In on a shot. Ruegesegger backing up. He's not going to get hit for another stall call. And the junior moves up from 152 and earns a hard-fought victory at 160 pounds for the Cougars.
Well, as we said, Sam Smoody maybe heard us say we were robbed of the match of the day. He said, I don't think so. We got the match of the day. Sam Smoody, give credit to him. Ranked wrestler here in Ruegesegger with an impressive victory here. Just holds off Smoody, who gives him everything he can throw at him.
Smoody also had a few words for him at the end. So now I think we're going to see one of the two seniors in this lineup. Now it's going to be Grant Moffat, the junior, moving up from 160. Wrestling against Jacob Payjack, the freshman, and Grant Moffat.
Payjack just coming off a 5th place finish at Freshman State over the weekend at Champlain Park.
Yep.
Bengals had 4 participants at Freshman State over the weekend. We mentioned that Owen Keel, who's not in the lineup today, was a state champion at that tournament. And the projected starter in the 189 today, Luke Brady, also a 5th place finisher, along with this guy, Payjack, at the Freshman State tournament in Champlain last weekend.
It's cool that they do that event. I be honest, I did not know they had a Freshman State. As Payjack scoots around, no point though awarded as he's clinging to that leg. So the point's not granted yet, no control. That's ultimately how it's decided, right? When one wrestler has control. Now Moffat trying to duck out. Yeah, this feels like a stalemate unless Moffat can get his head out, in which case he'll get the takedown. Payjack just hoping for that stalemate. Moffat working up, trying to clear his head. And stalemate eventually the call with a short time here, first period. (31-15) our team score. Centennial leading. I would imagine Centennial just 1 or 2 victories away from icing this one or clinching it. To do some fast math here. 16-point lead with just a 4 weights left. Payjack starts on top against Moffat. We're at 172 pounds. So be interesting to see if Andrew Person, another senior, wrestles at 189 instead of Carter Stookie, or what. All that remains to be seen. Grant Moffat has dealt with some adversity this season, but persevered through it, and normally the starter, the junior, at 160 pounds.
Yeah, next weight class, the 189, is going to be the first potential opportunity, depending on what happens here, for Centennial to clinch the duel.
Repeat that one more time.
Can't be decided here.
Okay,
no outcome settles the duel here.
Okay.
In this one, it could be settled in the 189.
One, depending on how things go here.
That was some not so quick math, but we got there.
Yeah. I set you up. That's what it was. 2 pins and 2 falls in a regular decision for Blaine, who have won 3 matchups so far, 3 of the 7 we've had so far.
Has 16 points.
3 and 7, I think so far.
16-point swing. You've got a potential for 4 more matches of 6 points apiece still on the table.
Yeah, 6 and 3. Centennial's won 6 matches. Blaine has won 3. No points awarded yet here as we're short time second period. Payjack tough on top all second period, riding Moffat like he was his Topiff. He'll start down, and it could be that just a single escape decides this match. Hasn't been a whole lot in the way of shots or. So Moffat moves in to cover, and Payjack will try to sit out. We've seen a couple Granby roll attempts. That's from Granby, Virginia. It's the originators of that move to the sort of roll through. And so you see kids practice rolling with their opponents so they don't lose and give up the escape. Moffat trying to do the mat return. Payjack bails back. Stall warning on Moffat. So another point, another stall call would give Payjack a point and the lead. We're at 172. I think I can officially say this has been the least exciting match today.
It's been a good day. So
yeah,
this one has
very
been
exciting. And there Payjack sits and spins and gets the point.
And now with the point separating them, we should get a pretty good final minute here.
Yeah, well, you got to go at this point. Some kids wait too long to get their offense going, and then, they wait till like the last 30 seconds to even take some shots. Payjack staying in a good position defensively here.
Go time now.
Yeah, 10 seconds, and they're saying that to Moffat. He's in on a double leg. Now he drops it to a single. Good sprawl, though. No takedown awarded. 3, 2, 1. That's it. Jacob Payjack, courtesy of a third period escape, shushes the crowd and walks away with 3 points for his team.
It wasn't pretty, but it was a win. I mean,
yes.
Just great defense by Payjack. That last spread, he did it a couple of times to avoid a would-be takedown here.
Yeah, he sprawled really nicely. Sank those hips, did textbook what you want.
Now wrestling at 189 for Blaine, Luke, Brady, and for the Cougars,
Andrew Person moves up from 172 to wrestle at 189 against Luke Brady.
And because of that 1-0 win, Blaine's hopes are going to stay alive at least until the second to last weight class. It can't be settled here between Brady and Pearson.
Andrew Person, a senior and also a multiple-time national fishing tournament qualifier. So wrestling, not his first love. He likes angles, but he's more of an angler. A lanky 189er. 172 and working up against Luke Brady, who was another freshman that wrestled at Freshman State in Champlin this past weekend. He's sprawls, he's got a leg, but Person scoots behind for 3.
Yeah, we mentioned the 4 Bengal freshmen that competed at Freshman State over the weekend. There were also 2 Bengal girls state champions at that freshman tournament. This would normally be, the Centennial Blaine duel. You'd probably have the girls action going on at the same time, but girls sections starting as soon as this weekend. So the girls are getting ready for the playoffs.
Got a little blood time as Person was working on a cradle. He gives him the 3-point near fall, so it's 8-0 Andrew Person. And I think the coaches are a little frustrated you see a couple cross faces on Grady rather. Of course, in college you have 184, 197, and then you go right to heavyweight at 285. So the weight classes are a little different.
Another look there at Coach Steffen, sixth-year head coach at Centennial. Took over prior to the 2020-21 season from Zambroda. Is that Mazeppa?
Zambroda Mazeppa.
Zambroda Mazeppa. Wrestled for his dad, Link Steffen, and was also assistant coach for his dad for a couple of years. And Chase Steffen, really good career. Two-time Division II All-American at Minnesota State Mankato.
Yeah, wrestling powerhouse in their own right. Not quite St. Cloud State level, but pretty good.
And his brother Caden, also a very good wrestler, started out at Southwest Minnesota State, ended up at the University of Minnesota, wrestled some for the Gophers as well too in his career. That is a great Minnesota wrestling family.
Oh yeah. And you see that whether it's the kids out in Wilmer or, yeah, even like I said, in the Centennial lineup, you have a couple of pairs of brothers. 8-0 Andrew Person with the time remaining, and now we've got the blood situation.
Yeah, so again, can't clinch it here. Centennial, even with a victory by fall, that would only push him out to a 9-point swing, still with 2 matches, 12 potential points still on the table for Blaine.
A win by fall, they could clinch it. Because it would be 37-18 with 2 matches to go.
Oh, yeah, it'd be 20-point swing.
Yeah, and it would be ultimately out of reach. The most they could get back to is 30. So, really, a victory of any kind here for Centennial clinches it.
Yep.
Back to action here. Short time first period. Person really long and lanky, and that is particularly tough to deal with once you kind of get the boots stuck in or whatever and do like the 2-on-1 ride with the legs and stuff, just because long wrestlers, it's just hard to fight him off. And so personal start down to begin this second period. Looking to pick up bonus points once more for Centennial. By my count, their only non-bonus point win was Jack Ruegesegger. Every other, and maybe there was one, yes, there was a major decision. Yeah, majors and falls. Otherwise, there's no technical falls tonight, just falls and one major decision. 9-0 our score. If it ended right now, it would be a major. Brady doesn't look to be scoring, so Person trying to run it through on senior night. Trying to turn the corner, or run the corner as they call it. And we've got more blood time.
And on the flip side of that, to your point, for Blaine, it's been either boom or bust, because of their 4 wins today, 2 have been regular decisions, 2 have been falls.
Yep.
Is the mathing on that?
Well, that you can see that sometimes when you have a couple kids that are ranked in your lineup. But you just know that Centennial has more depth. So they're starting the blood time clock. That's the clock that's counting down here in the arena. Basically, they have 5 minutes to get that situation fixed. And then they just stopped it. So 1:10 up on the clock.
A win of any kind, as we said, for the Cougars clinches another victory for them over the Bengals. Won this dual meet narrowly last year. And a win for Centennial moves them to 24-8 overall, and they would bounce back from their first Northwest Suburban Conference dual defeat of the season last Friday to Elk River. Go to 12-1 in the conference.
So 12-0. Person now trying to get a close to a defensive fall. Josh Prokosh wants him to look at it or wants to talk about it. He was walking toward the scorer's table like he did. 31-18, a win here for Centennial, clinches the duel. Cross face on Brady. Sounding like Chris Collinsworth here. Less than 50 seconds left. He's wrapped him up in a cradle, and this is going to do it. Oh, near the edge of the mat. Blood time again, and they stop it. Centennial, and he gave him 2 points on that near fall, so we were this close. Well, now it's 15 on the scoreboard. That's going to be it. Pearson wins, courtesy of a near fall, 15-0. Tack 5 more, team points on. And that win clinches the duel for the Cougars, who improved to 24-8 and 12-1 in conference play with that 15-0 tech fall on senior night for Andrew Person, who finished it in style.
For the Cougars, Carter Stookie.
So now it's going to be Carter Stookie, the junior, wrestling up at 215 against Bennett Topiff. And to take you the rest of the way, here's Matt Dean.
Thank you, Bill. Last two of the day here in this cat clash on the mat. Again, Centennial clinching this duel already, 36-18 lead, only 12 more points on the table possible for Blaine to grab. And Bennett Topiff, the junior, wrestling here in the blue for the Bengals. Coming off a 1-2 weekend at the Blaine duels. Lost the last two games by regular decisions after he took a major decision in his first matchup. One in his meeting with Forest Lake. Blaine as a team dropped all three on Saturday to Forest Lake, Cambridge, Isani, and Plainview, Elgin, Millville. This loss to Centennial today, the 7th consecutive dual defeat for Blaine, who dropped to 15-9 on the year. And now up on one leg here. We got Stookie putting Topiff in a compromised position, and he gets the 3 points for the takedown. Break our early deadlock here. Stookie with the 3-0 lead. And here in the penultimate tilt of the day in this Blaine Centennial cat clash. Carter Stookie joined the wrestling program as a 9th grader. They found him on the football field, and he has stuck with the sport well into his junior season. Turned into a regular in the lineup for Coach Steffen and the Cougars. Oh, nicely done there on the reversal by Topiff. And we're back to a 1-point match. First period is through. Stookie got the takedown, but Bennett Topiff with that late reversal back within one. There's the takedown that led Stookie to the 3-0 lead, and the reversal that cut this to a 1-point matchup. 2 minutes back up on the clock here in period number 2. And the early escape going to Topiff here. We're tied at 3. Topiff in on the leg here as Stookie tries to fend him off. Stookie looking for the reversal. And he is fended off here by Topiff. We stay tied at 3. Both wrestlers going at it here in the 2:15. Head to head, and one looking to make a move here to try to break this 3-3 deadlock. Now keep in mind that Stookie will get the choice of position in the third, and he's going to go into the third likely with a lead as he gets a late takedown here just on the edge of the circle. 30 seconds left to go. Stookie looking for near fall points. He's got the near fall loaded up. He's looking for it all. And they will slot in the 4 near fall points just as Topiff exits the circle. It's a 10-3 lead for Carter Stookie. And with just 10 seconds left to go here, still with the third period to play. So Stookie finishes the second period with a 7-point flurry. The 4 near fall points, he nearly had the pin just on the edge of the circle. We would pick up the takedown and the ensuing near fall points all in one fell swoop here. And all of a sudden, Stookie, the junior, has a commanding lead here for Centennial. Blaine took 2 of the previous 3 matchups before Person clinched it with a tech fall win over Brady to clinch the duel in the 189s. And Centennial already with the team win locked up here tonight. .70 seconds left to go, and chance now for Topiff to try to make a move. Right now a 7-point swing, which is just shy of a major decision for Carter Stookie. Right now just a regular in the book. Stookie looking for that major decision. As of now, he's got it with 40 seconds left to go. Another 3-point takedown for Stookie. It's a 10-point swing. And right now, a major decision for the Cougars. He'll cut him loose and go for more. .15 seconds left to go. Topiff trying to make one final move. He's going to run out of time. Carter Stookie with a major decision win. Adds an exclamation point here for Centennial in the 2:15s. Stookie with the victory. And now we will close out the day here with a one final heavyweight bout. To close the night, already with the Cougar win cinched.
Wrestling for the Bengals at heavyweight, Marcus Thomas. For the Cougars, Boesch.
The matchup as expected after the major decision here. You see one last look from Stookie. We will see junior Boesch represent Centennial. Marcus Thomas, the junior, goes for Blaine. And it's Boesch with the quick strike here right in the opening stanza to take the 3-0 lead with a quick takedown. Inside 10 seconds to draw first blood here for Boesch and the Cougars. Couple of juniors going at it here in the 285-pound weight class. Another 3-point takedown there for Boesch. He's doubled his lead to 6-0. We are winding down here in Circle Pines. Remember to stick around for our post-game coverage. Chat with a couple of the standouts here in the win for Centennial. And break down the action here from the Cougar Gym. Shout out to our great crew on hand. Ted LaRue, Tim Shingen, Joe Hoyley, and A.V. Becker in the truck. Drew Shingen and Rob Clark, your camera operators here tonight on North Metro TV. And myself and Matt Dean and Bill Hupp on the call for you here. Boesch stays on his feet, fighting off some attacks from Thomas. And he's got another takedown and potentially a fall here in the heavyweight. Good fight back here from Thomas. And he flips the script for the 4 near fall points. What a swing. Takedown and the 4 near fall points to get right back into it. So Thomas erases the 6-0 deficit and then some. And has the lead here on Boesch. And what a first period, 2 minutes in the books. And we're on to the second here. What a heavyweight bout it's been. Not playing for anything in the team scoreboard, but still a lot of entertainment to be had as these two juniors square off. Marcus Thomas, a good story at Blaine, a first-year wrestler. Linebacker for the Blaine football team, still new to the sport. But hanging tough here with the top heavyweight in Brady Boesch and taking a lead. Boesch looking for that escape to tie it. He'll get the 2-point takedown. Boesch back in front and now adding with near fall points. He's looking for the full fall here, and he's got a lot of time left to work with in the second period. Boesch going for it all on Thomas. He's got the near fall points locked up. He's got the pin to end the day. Dominating win here for Centennial. They will add one final flourish with a win by fall from Braden Boesch. 46-18 Cougars is your final score here tonight on the team scoreboard in this Northwest Suburban Conference Cat Clash. Stick around, we got more to come here on North Metro TV. Back with a post-match interviews to follow. Cougars over the Bengals on the mat tonight from Circle Pines.
Circle Pines. Matt Dean back with you here on the call. We're here with two of the standouts for the Cougars, Ben Johnson, Jack Ruegesegger, who both won their individual matchups in this 46-18 win for the Cougars. Ben, we'll start with you. 145-pound weight class tonight. You get a major decision. Tell me about kind of just the keys you were thinking about going into that matchup and what was working for you tonight.
Yeah, so I knew my opponent was pretty strong. I could tell he was a scrappy guy. Got in on a couple good shots. Just knew how to stay calm, collected, keep my hips in. Just had to wrestle through positions, keep working.
How important is it this time of year? You've got kind of your eyes maybe on the horizon a little bit with section playoffs coming up. What's it feel like to get a rivalry win like this tonight and get a little confidence before playoffs?
Yeah, it feels pretty great. Getting your confidence up before the sections is definitely a good thing. Keeping the motivation up, keep team morale up. Yeah, it's a good feeling.
All right, last thing, it's senior night. You guys got a pretty young roster, but what's a senior or two that's made an impact in your career that you're excited to celebrate here post-game?
Yeah, Logan Fu. Yeah, he stood out a lot to me. I've wrestled with him a long time. I've known him since youth. He's always been a great leader, good captain. He's always just there for you. Just keeps you working. He's a great guy.
All right, thanks a lot, Ben. We've also got Jack Ruegesegger with us, one of the top 10 ranked wrestlers in his weight class. You wrestled up tonight in the 160s, Jack. You got a really good matchup, maybe the most fun of the night, against Smoody for Blaine. Tell me about it. Obviously, your head coach is making that decision. How do you prepare ahead of the match? Maybe anticipating you might wrestle up. Is that a last-minute decision? How do you prep before a match like that when you're not sure where you're going?
It's always a last-minute decision, but I just go out and wrestle whoever I'll beat. So it's up to Chase, and I'll just take it to whoever.
Yeah. Tell me about some of the keys. It's a tight matchup. 1 point decides it. What were the keys for you coming out on top?
You got to not care if you're tired. It's about just grinding through, not caring, and just being better. That's what I think. You just got to be tougher and mentally tougher.
Any extra meaning when you've got a matchup with Blaine? It's a rivalry. You guys are winding down here in the regular season.
I hate Blaine. They're my worst. I didn't like that guy. And that guy was nice, but it's just I hate Blaine. In football too, and I'm always pumped up to play him in football. So, and all my student section, all that, it's all fun. It gets me pumped.
You guys, it's all back to cordial off the mat, but that was a heated matchup too. That's what made it fun. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it was fun. We got into it, but at the end of the day, it's just wrestling and nothing against that guy. It's always fun to get mad though. So.
All right, any final thoughts on what you guys are focusing on as a team as we wind down here in the season?
Get as many guys to the state tournament, I would say. Start being the most dominant team around here. That's about it.
All right, you guys heard it here. Ben Johnson, Jack Ruegesegger here. The win for Centennial over rivals Blaine, the 7th-ranked team in the state, advance and pick up a key win down the stretch of the regular season. Thanks to Ted LaRue in the truck. From my broadcast partner, Bill Hupp, I'm Matt Dean, signing out from Circle Pines. The Cougars pick up the win tonight in the Cat Clash against Blaine. Signing out here for North Metro TV.